Welcome to No Control RC. Well, what do we have today? Well, we have a truck that I actually ordered a long time ago, and it took a while to get to me, and then by the time it got here, I kind of set it aside, forgot about it, went on doing some other things. What is that truck? Well, it's the Arrma Outcast 1/5 scale EXB bash roller. Now, this I bought as the roller before the ready to run kits were out. So I've been kind of going back and forth. What do I want to do with it? Brandon has the original one that they discontinued. So I figured I would build this one like the ready to run ones are now, and we'll put them head to head maybe and see which one's better. Is it really worth buying the upgraded one? So let's get this out of the box, take a look at what we got going on. I'll show you the electronics and everything else we have ready to go in this thing. Well, here it all is, guys. It's out of the box. Laid all out. The electronics is separate. We'll go over those in a minute. But this is what's in the box. You got a manual. You got a technical guide. You got two different receiver box / servo mounts. And we'll see which one of those we actually need. You got a gasket. You got the lid to your servo box / servo mount. And horns for the servo. You have a gear, got some engine plates here, some miscellaneous plastic crap. Get the steering set up, and your screws and nuts and whatnot. This is what all came with this roller. Unfortunately, this roller is now discontinued, but we did pick this up. You can get the ready to run versions right now. But this was bought before those were out, so we're going to do our best to make this as good as one of those ready-to-run upgraded versions. We'll go over what's updated from the regular version that Brandon has on this in a little bit as we get into it, but right now let's look at the electronics that we have to go into this. So we have an 80-kilogram servo that I got off Amazon. This is like 68 bucks. We're going to give this a try and see how good it really is. If it's not good enough, maybe I'll donate it to Brandon because the stock one in his is really weak, and buy a better one for this, but we're going to start out with this and see what it's all about. Next, we dive into the Hobby Wing Easy Run Max 6 ESC. This is good for 8S. Haven't tried any of their stuff yet, so I'm very excited to try this, combined with the 1100 kilovolt Easy Run 5687 motor. Now, this is a kit that goes together, and it should give us the same or a little bit more power than the factory set these now come with. Not sure, we'll see when we get it all in and programmed. Now, I'd say let's dive in and see which servo mount we need to use with the servo that we have, because I don't know. This is the servo. It's a Power HD. Like I said, it came off Amazon, 68 bucks. It's big compared to a normal servo, normal for these trucks. So it looks like it's well built. Metal cased. This is waterproof. Claims it can take the abuse. Now, which one of these do we need? I'm going to say probably this one. I'll show you why we won't want to use this one. And it's right there. See the slop? And the bolts don't line up. Pretty solid thing right there. That's not going to work. Now, what about this one? This one slides right in tight. Doesn't jiggle back and forth, and all the holes line up. Now, this did come with mounting hardware. It doesn't look like it's going to work with the size holes that are in this mount. So, hopefully, Arrma provided us with some ones that will. And I'm seeing them right here. 1, 2, 3. Get the 4 metal collars. And 4 long screws that'll hold that bad boy in. So we'll get this assembled. I'll double check to make sure this is on the correct side. And then we'll get it locked down with the 4 included screws and collars. And then we'll get right back. All right, so we got the servo mounted in the correct box with the correct mount. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to mount our receiver into the box so we can start plugging things in. That we need some double-sided tape. If you're in this hobby at all for any amount of time, you probably have rolls of this stuff kicking around. And if you don't, you should. We're just going to double side tape on that like so. So we got a good adhesion in the box. Now, this steering thing will be the second slot in this receiver. Just like so. Tuck all the extra wire in. And try to leave room to plug in the other accessories, such as the ESC. Now, we can get ahead of ourselves and put this on there, but then you couldn't plug the ESC in, could you? So I'd say the next step is we're going to clear the stuff we're not using to the side, and we'll get into opening the Easy Run ESC and see what that's all about. This is the ESC. As we said, this is the Easy Run Max 6. This is up to an 8S. It's brushless electronic speed controller. It says it's best for 1/5 or 1/6 scale trucks. Now, as you see, it's good size. Got a bunch of resistors on it to hold, and then these will have to be soldered to the motor by the looks. Not a big deal. So, let's. The biggest thing might be this truck. If you ran the Spectrum ESC, it would have mounting tabs with screws. So we're probably gonna have to double side tape this in. It's not a big deal. You can easily make that happen. So let's get to it. I'm going to use a squirt of some good glass cleaner. You can also use rubbing alcohol just to make sure you get a nice clean surface that the double-sided tape will stick to, because that is a heavy ESC not to be screwed down. So we'll let that dry real quick. Clean that side as well. We'll get some double-sided tape on there and get it mounted up. All right, there we have double-sided taped on. I looked, the motor lead should go towards the servo cover, which is right here. So now we can run this power wire into the receiver and get this box all tidied up. And we'll get the servo saver on and mounted, and then I believe it goes in the truck. And as we get into the truck, as I said, we'll point out the upgrades that are from the factory that are over the factory truck that Brandon bought. But man, when he bought that thing, they were blowing him out. I think he paid like less than $600 for the things. It was crazy. I should have bought one myself, but I didn't. So then I had to go down the road and buy one of these later on. But it'll give us a good head-to-head. Now you can put the gasket on. Hopefully it stays. As we put it together. Well, as you can see, we have it all assembled. The motor's in, the ESC is in, it's all wired up, steering is all assembled. It's ready to go, minus batteries being put in. I will say, it's really not that hard to assemble. It's got really good instructions in the book. Had to buy a few extra pieces, like pinion gears and whatnot. If you know how to solder, it'll really help you out. If not, it's pretty easy to learn. I had to do it for the ends on this ESC. You could skip that by buying an ESC that already has ends on it, but this setup that I wanted to use, the Hobby Wing setup, did not. But, you know, no big deal. This thing is ready to rock, minus some batteries. So we'll go over some key details which actually make this different than the factory version of this EXB stunt truck. All right, well, let's go over some of the key main differences here between the ready-to-run truck that was available till not too long ago. Now they've upgraded this and it's an EXB ready-to-run, but this is the old version, and Brandon got this on sale. Got a killer deal on it. Should have bought one at the time, but I did not. Versus the EXB roller that I bought that you can no longer get, but now it's a ready-to-run version. So, major differences are, see the rear turnbuckle there? and then you go over to the EXB edition and see the size difference there. That is a crazy difference. And I know that this has been an issue for Brandon a few times already, where funny landings and you'll actually knock this up a few threads and knock your tire out of alignment. Second is we have a nice aluminum brace down here on the EXB, and over here it's just plastic. Like nothing special here, guys, just plastic. I will say up front, there's no sway bar on the Ready to Run. We have sway bars front and rear on the Bash Edition. These have newly tuned shocks on them versus the old one. And the major point is the 7075 aluminum chassis. These old ones have just a regular chassis underneath them that came. And I will say I've seen a bunch of people doing crazy things with these trucks. And if you really launch them, that chassis will bend. This one I don't know of. I haven't seen too many, but this is much stronger than this one. Now, other than that, they pretty much have the same A-arms and wheels and tires. A lot of that stuff's the same. You know, the Ready to Run came with a 160 amp ESC and a 1250 motor, which I believe now is an 1100 motor that comes in them. Like I said, this is the old setup. Of course, we went with the Hobby Wing 1100 kV and ESC. So, you know, we're going to put these head to head and see which one's better. Now, I will say, both of these trucks, as they sit, are discontinued. This was the Ready to Run Standard Edition that went away a while ago. This was the EXB Roller Kit, which also went away. This is available and Ready to Run now with updated electronics and all that fun stuff. So this is as close as you can get to a new one. I bought this before the EXB Ready to Runs came out. I've just been sitting on it for a while, collecting parts, and just barely got around to actually putting it all together. It's been winter here, and I didn't really want to put something together that I really couldn't use that much. But now the snow is melting, and it's time to have some fun. Now, I heard my battery charger go off a minute ago, so that means that my batteries for this are charged. So I'm really curious to get out and see what this thing can do. I've driven this one, and it's fun, but this one's supposed to have more power with the updated electronics. We'll say this came with a black body. This one back in the day came with a red body. Brandon's body here has seen some stuff. Now these came red. This one came black. I mean, they're both killer trucks. He's probably going to have to update the turnbuckles and what on his to this style because he keeps bending them and knocking his wheel in. But that's up to Brandon. That's his truck. This is mine. Can't wait to get this thing out and see what it can do. So, what better time than now? Well, that was fun, and I will say that these are a completely unique driving experience versus just about anything else you can possibly drive. The sheer size and weight of these things, this is like 25 pounds, so you really got to know where it's going. And I actually did hit myself with it one time, and I'm like, yep, got to be real careful with that because it will get you. Uber powerful, got a little dialing in to do. I had too much brake going when I let off the throttle, so I adjusted that. The steering servo is okay. I will say it's probably on par with the stock one, maybe a little better. Still may want to upgrade that down the road, but it'll work for right now. Other than that, like, these you cannot go wrong with. Like I said, this is discontinued, but I built it close to a ready-to-run model that they sell now. So I would say if you want a unique, crazy driving experience, you can't go wrong with an Arrma Outcast 8S BLX Stunt Edition. So I'll just say these are well-balanced. I mean, they wheelie, they jump. For the size and weight of these things, they handle incredible. But you just got to know what you're getting into. Like, if you have a tight backyard, this might not be the truck for you. My yard's decent size. I still brought it to my new favorite spot, which is an old abandoned sand pit. I'm very happy about this kit when I got it. I got a killer deal on it when they were closing them out. The way I built it out, I'm fairly happy with. There might be a little tweaks here and there, but this thing more is about learning to drive it than about adjusting it. I am going to shoe goo the body, strengthen it up because Brandon's had issues with his truck, and it's time for this to go head to head against his. Hopefully we can get it out in the sand pit area there where we got some nice room to roam and see who wins head to head. And then the winner of that battle will go on to face the XMAXX. Sounds like a plan to me. I mean, might as well keep on rolling, right? All right. Well, as always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Sorry it took me so long to build this thing. As you could probably see in the beginning, our studio was actually set up differently, and now it's kind of built out more. We're trying to improve to make videos better and better for you guys, so hopefully it's working. You know, you have any likes, comments, whatever, put them down below. We'll try to get back to you the best we can.